All right, let's just do this really quick, right? So basically, this is King Bitcoin Doubler. I have my YouTube channel, uh, youtube.com/King Bitcoin Doubler, and I decided, me and Crypto Diving decided that maybe we should start getting into the ICO game. And when getting into the ICO game, we realized that our channels weren't geared towards ICOs. So this is going to be a video about pretty much about getting into ICOs. So crypto diving, you could say something.
Hey, how you doing, guys? This is Crypto Diving over here. We decided to kind of collaborate together on the ICO side. We just want to give you guys some type of understanding of ICOs versus IPOs. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight for a few. You want to explain to them what an IPO is, and then I'll go ahead and explain what an ICO is. So
Okay.
we'll just go from there.
All right. So it's going to sound a little redundant after a little bit, but pretty much before I actually talk about that, I'll just say that for a while, I would say about, I don't really need to give a time frame, but I would say about almost 2 years, I did what we consider day trading. Day trading is where you see stocks, you see the stocks at a certain price, and you would buy that day. And then what you would end up doing is you would end up selling that same day, if not the next day. So my whole goal with day trading was that every single day I would trade a stock under $15 because I was not working with a large sum of money. So I decided to get into that. We turned $3,000 into about 18,000 in about 3 months. That was kind of the big stretch of the money, was the very early stages. So I kind of know a lot about stocks. So when it comes to coming out with your own stock, meaning that you have your own business model already set up and ready to go, what you basically do is you try to get private funding. Private funding would be like somewhere between 250 million and about maybe $5 billion. So you would get that type of money from billionaires, obviously. You would get that from maybe Richard Branson, or you would get that from the guy that created Uber, or the people from Shark Tank. You would reach out to these people, try to raise the funds of maybe 100 million each person, or 10 million each person, or a hedge funds, and then these people would fund you. And then, because remember, you already have a business and you already have a business model, you're just trying to go bigger and more global. And at this point, you're just offering shares. So at a special price, which is at a special price, they're offered the ability to come in. So they may have what they consider seed money that comes in. So let's say they're going to raise $2.5 million. Oh, sorry, $250 million, and they're going to sell to those people, the early birds, the hedge fund owners. They're going to sell them each million maybe a tenth of a percent. Okay, and that means they're going to give away 25% of the business to these hedge fund people. Once that 25% money is raised, then they can go through SEC and they can try to get them to approve them to come out with their company's stock. So once their company's stock portfolio is approved, then they can hit the stock market, which we consider the stock exchange. Once the stock exchange picks them up, then they can go into what we consider the exchanges, and in the hopes that a big exchange or a index would pick them up once they start to make some you know start making some more money. So pretty much the way that this works is they have first people that want to buy, they are the billionaires. Then you got the rest of the world who gets to buy once it hits the stock exchange. And that's pretty much how IPOs work when it comes to stocks. And then Crypto Diving is going to explain to you guys the rest. ICOs.
Okay, a ICO, it would be like a crowdfunding type of like a deal. Like say if you needed money, or there's a lot of startup companies that come out and they want to start a company, but they need funding. So what they do is they create a ICO, which is initial coin offering, and what you do is you invest into this new startup company, and and what they need is the funds to fund like an app, or if they coming out with an ICO app with a coin attached to it. What they do is they just go out and hit the market or hit the public for this for these for the coins. So what what it is it's a startup company that's looking for more of the people that's the crypto space, so they can help fund their website or the app they come into. Now most of the ICOs they're Ethereum based. So what the Ethereum does is kind of fuels the app, because the software uses the Ethereum to fund it or to help run it. So that's what the ICO does for the initial coin offering.
Yeah. So basically, the only difference between an ICO and an IPO, well, not the only difference, but the major differences is with an ICO, the public funds the ICO. When it comes to an IPO, those are private funds. The other difference is the startup stage. So with an IPO, with a stock, normally your company would already be worth 250 million and above. With as far as an ICO, your company is worth zero. You're pretty much worth what your team is worth. And then the market decides if we want to invest in you and keep you going. Now, an ICO has the ability to raise funds and then pretty much drop out and then never be seen again. But as far as an IPO, since SEC is involved, once those funds are raised, if the company was to go bankrupt, yeah, people will lose their money, but the company that went bankrupt does not have anything to gain. As far as an ICO, that company that has those shares, they pretty much have a lot to gain by going bankrupt, because they're keeping all the money that was originally sent to them. Once the coin goes nowhere, they're nowhere to be found. They can care less. So there's a big difference in the two, but they're pretty much operating the same exact way as far as the exchanges buying and selling. There's still opportunities for day trading. There's opportunities for investment programs, and there's what we're about to show you in our next video will be opportunities for funding as far as index funds and stuff like that.
Right, because right now we're about to get involved into an ICO. There's a Regal coin out there and there's another ICO that's about to kick off. Which one is that again? It's called Hex coin. That's the one, right?
Hextra?
Yeah, Hextra. That's the one. So we're about to get involved into that one, and that's about to launch in what's the